The North Georgia Devil Scorpion. Moses Motivates. Welcome to another video. Hey folks, Moses Motivates, and I'm here with another video. This video is about a creature. I guess there's not much mystery to Lee. I put the name of the creature at the beginning of the video, but this is a creature I never knew existed in Georgia until one day I was taking my dog out back, and I just happened to see one. It was deceased, unfortunately, but I saw it and I said, what? Is that a scorpion? Now, I lived in Arizona before, and in my mind, I thought the Southwest was the only place scorpions could live, out there in the hot, arid desert land. Nah. After doing my research, I realized scorpions are all over the place. Not in every state, obviously. Not all, but in quite a number of them. Georgia has two scorpions, two different types, two species. One up in the north, then there's another one that's down south, and that's more along the bark scorpion. Please leave a comment if I'm wrong. Correct me, please. I'm quite certain it's bark scorpion, some type of southern bark scorpion. Anyways, we're not talking about that one. When I saw this scorpion, I said, the first thing I did was looked around. I wanted to make sure there are no others in the area or anything, but one thing I did know is scorpion are loners, solitude. They're mercenaries in the creature world. So I, grabbed up my little forceps, my little surgical tweezers. I've had these for quite some time. These are purposefully for removing insects. When I see an insect, I'm not the type to kill, crush, destroy. I will grab my forceps. I have a pair upstairs and a pair downstairs, and I will grab them out by the leg or antennae as best I can to remove them from the house. I've had situations where they're just too fast. They're running all over the place, and I've had to let one creature just go on its merry way because I couldn't capture it. Anyways, I have the specimen here, and I'm going to show this for you all. I'm just going to reposition my notes here, as well as reposition these notes, get that out the way, get this lighting right, and let's get this camera on down right here. Right there. You always want to have your set of these when you're dealing with anything. Now, take a good look. Let me get that out the way. You take a good look at this scorpion. Get that light a little closer. And you can see a number of his parts that many of us are familiar with, some of us not so familiar with, but got those pinchers, the pedipalps, and I'll go over all of its offensive and defensive capabilities. And you can see that tail, you can see that stinger. I mean, it's just as sharp as the day it was born. Now, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it, but it's amazing at the definition and the detail you can see on the scorpion. You can see that armoring and coating it has on its back. It's for a great defense. I'm going to turn this over very carefully. Turn that on over. See all those little legs and everything. Whew. This is the type of video I have to do in the morning, because at night, I'll have nightmares thinking about just looking at it. And it's got some dust and hair and such, but that's kind of how I found it. I have no idea how long it had been off in the corner of the door frame, deceased such as. But there you go. This is the North Georgia Devil Scorpion. And I'm going to see if I can get that stinger. I mean, that's some serious stuff right there. I mean, just imagine it takes that thick tail and curves over and jigs you. Oh, goodness. Let me get this camera back up on myself. All in my face. There it is. There we go. Give it a second to focus. Get my notes back in place. So, that's that North Georgia scorpion. North Georgia devil scorpion. And it is quite the creature. I wouldn't want to come across it. And once I saw it in my backyard, you know, I then began to wonder and worry about, you know, my dogs. Obviously, my dogs being out there, going out there to, they investigate everything nose first, and I would just hate for them to feel the wrath of that. Get this thing going out off to the side. There we go. So let me go on over here. We'll talk about some defensive capabilities, and we can see that armored skeleton. That armored skeleton is a doozy. It will protect it from a number of onslaughts, a number of attacks. The small hairs along its back, the hairs are along its whole body. Now, this doesn't look to be a very hairy one right here on this picture we're looking at, but you can see just right at the base of those pedipalps, the claws, you can see hairs right there. And so those hairs can pick up vibration and movement of any type. Those clapping sounds can be made with the pinchers. The pinchers are the pedipalps. And we'll go on over to offensive capabilities where we talk about the pedipalps, the pinchers, the metasoma, which is the tail. Different species have different toxicity levels. And the one thing I did not know until I did my research was how one scorpion species can have between 40 to 50 different toxins in its venom. And I just thought, man, it has like a menu of what I guess this type of creature let me sting this, or it's just, obviously it's that venom has those different toxins that will affect different insects and other creatures differently when they come up in combat with them. And the scorpion has a pair of venom sacs so that it's allowed to do multiple stings, sort of like the yellow jacket. You know, that yellow jacket is one thing that it'll keep on stinging. But this one, the scorpion can do a dry sting just to run you off. Like snakes, some snakes will do a dry bite where they're saving their venom for hunting, but if you're messing with them, they'll bite you just to get you on out of there. Or, like I just mentioned, multiple envenomated stings can be procured. Now, I'll say about out of the 1,500 scorpion species, there are about 50 that are really life-threatening, and they're mainly life-threatening to seniors and little kids. But, you know, as adults, we just don't want to go around being stung to see what it's like. Most of the time, if you are stung, it's either going to be a painful or swelling reaction, unless you're allergic. And then it could be a lot more serious than that. Let's take a look at it, because that stinger is just amazes me how nature created that, how it was created to give you just a sting. And you can see right here at the scorpion's tail right above me, it's got that little bitty hole for that injection that it'll put in you. I mean, that's amazing. Off to the side, I put the man-made syringe, something we pretty much use, hypodermic. Both are hypodermic. We have our syringes that we use for different things, be it injections, be it you're making something, IV bags of some sort, or whatever the case may be. But it's just amazing how the scorpion stinger can last quite the length of time, especially when some scorpions live up to 25 years, between 5 and 25 years, and they just got that one tail. Now, the syringes that humans use, that we make to use, they're good for maybe 3 or 4 uses. You know, whenever you get a shot, people throw away the syringes, because while that syringe can still poke you or penetrate your skin, it's to the point where the bevel at the top will start to bend or sway in different directions, and it won't make for the cleanest of shots if you continue to use a syringe. Besides, it's not sterile. But let's go on a field trip real quick. Come on, let's go on a field trip. Take a look at that there. Would you look at it? Single syringe use. Pumping a heavier liquid into a lighter liquid. Hence, that's why it's staying at the bottom. Just a little background info. Now that syringe there, that has to be discarded. I used it that one time to go into that rubber stopper on that bag, and I used it those several other times with those 3 valves. That syringe is obsolete. You continue to use that syringe, you will then begin to remove chunks of rubber from either the valve stopper or the bag stopper, and it'll be a sort of a gouging effect. No one wants that because that causes spills, leaks, and if you're using it on your skin, you definitely don't want any gouging of the needles. Here is a picture of a close-up picture of the pedipalps, and you can see this thing is covered in hairs. I mean, it's covered in hairs. Now, if the scorpion takes those pedipalps, place it on the ground, it can feel all sorts of vibration. You see the hairs on top as well, shows that the scorpion can place them in the ground. The scorpion can pretty much bury itself or burrow itself down and still feel vibrations from almost a 360 horizontal degree. It's quite amazing, and we're not able to pick up on the decibel of it, but they can clap those things. I think I mentioned earlier, they can clap those pedipalps to make sounds, and I'm going to talk about that right after this one. I wanted to show this slide right here to show the variety of scorpions around the world. Now, you can read it all yourself. I mean, just look at it. I'll give you some time to read on those, because when I say it's amazing. It's amazing just looking at it. Now, this tailless whip scorpion, that's one the nightmares are made of right there. I mean, my goodness. The blue scorpion, that's amazing looking. Now, that pseudo scorpion, it's like a tick with scorpion claws. That's scary. But you can see that Arizona bark scorpion. But I think it's the Arizona bark scorpion or the Arizona hairy scorpion is the one I saw when I had an ex from Arizona. We lived in Arizona for a while. We were at a parent's house, and one of these scorpions was right over her headboard right before she was about to go to bed. They called me in the room. Oh, come get the scorpion. I looked at it like, I don't know how to deal with no scorpions. Didn't have these at the time. But we shoot it on into a little cup, and I took it outside. They wanted to kill it. No, we're not going to kill it. It didn't ask to come into this house. You know, it's not its fault. We're freaking out over it. So scooped it into a little cup, covered it with a piece of paper, took it outside, and tossed it far out in the yard where, it wouldn't be able to come right back into the house. You look at the forest scorpion. I mean, those claws, those things are serious. The forest scorpion and that red claw scorpion, those things, and the emperor scorpion, those things are serious. But like I said, these are videos that have to be made in the morning, because at night, I'll be feeling every little thing crawling on me. What was that? I'm sorry. Let's go into fighting tactics. And scorpions have a wide array of tactics. Like one of the things I mentioned, they'll clap their claws, they'll sway. When they clap their claws, they'll get the little tail out, they'll sway the tail out. They'll challenge other scorpions, they'll challenge other insects. You want some of this? Do you want some of this? No, I don't think so. But then there are other creatures who say, oh yeah, buddy, I want all of that. And there's 3 of them. These 3 creatures, the scorpion's venom have no effect on. This first one we'll start off with is the shrew. The next one, the hornbill. After that, the tarantula. And that's something that these creatures can go at it and just go at it. Now, if I'm mistaken on any of these, because I did my research, please let me know if there's specific tarantulas or if there are any other creatures that are immune to these effects. Please let me know. I'm always down for constructive criticism. I'm always down for education. I'm gonna go back to the shrew because the shrew reminds me of Templeton from Charlotte's Web, and Templeton was my boy. He taught me the word smorgasbord when he was at the fair eating the junk. But but so some of the other tactics that a scorpion would use is that of a sniper. No, it doesn't have a long range rifle, but it has the ability, patience. Patience is a virtue, they say. But it can sit and it waits. Put those hairy body on the ground. Wait, watch, listen. And when it sees something, it may go for the ambush approach, like a crocodile, or it may stalk the creature down. Shh, be quiet. Stalk him. Get him with that sting. Oh, get him with that sting. Grab him up. And with those pedipalps, you better believe it may start to tear in pieces off. Hold your left, hold your right, hold your arms out. You can't do anything. Tail, tail, tail. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get a little excited. I'm sorry. I get a little excited. But those are the fighting tactics, some of the fighting tactics. And then when we talked about, one of the things I wanted to talk about is the different toxins in the venom. But then there's also, some scorpions have the ability to give, now we talked about just a sting to sting you off to go away, or some multiple envenomated stings. But then there are some scorpions who can give you a slight dose. Like I may have mentioned, a slight dose. It's more of it's a less toxic. It's still toxic, but it's a less toxic envenomation. Go on, get away from me. Get away from me. I'm bothering you. Bother me, boy. You bother me. Get away from me. Or the full dose, the full variety pack. Give it to them. It's more opaque in color. I had to keep an eye out in my backyard now when I take the dog out. Goodness. But I'll never be afraid. I just have to keep an eye on my dog and make sure she's not sniffing around too much or anything, because I hate for her to have to feel the wrath, sting of the scorpion. I mean, goodness. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up. Moses Motivates. I hope you all enjoyed the field trip. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation on the North Georgia Devil Scorpion. And I'll be making more videos. You know, hey, feel free to like it. Feel free to subscribe. You know, please drop a comment, questions, anything. I'll be here. I'll read them. I'll be watching. My next video, it'll be a surprise. It's going to be a good one. I hope they're all good ones. But anyways, I'm out. You all have a good one.